Bam, there it is, guys. So this is my new Overland build. This is gonna be a really awesome, super awesome series. I'm actually really excited for it. So I'm actually gonna be working on this 1995 Isuzu Trooper. I just picked it up from Copart. I got it actually on a buy now for $500, believe it or not. I picked this thing up for $500 after fees and all that stuff. It came out to landed right here in my backyard, $850. So right now it is running and honestly in great condition. Like, this thing has been in government all of its life. It was actually donated by forest rangers to the auction. So it's been well taken care of. There's actually records of every single oil change ever done to this car. I'm actually super excited to be working on it because it's just, I mean, it's gorgeous. Come on. Like, this thing has quite a bit of clearance already. I plan on doing at least 3 inches on there. Right now it's sitting on 31s, I believe. I believe these are 31s. These are studded tires, actually. So these are definitely going soon. Radial SXT. I've never heard of this tire company ever, but they are mud terrains and they do have a studded tire, studs in them. So I'll be keeping them. I'll probably keep one on the spare back here, but definitely gonna put some super aggressive mud terrains on there. I'm thinking 35s, to be honest. I think that's gonna look super cool. Everything about this car, like, I'm in love with. I think it just looks super aggressive. I'm definitely gonna be doing a metal front bumper, that's for sure, with the tow winch and all that jazz. It's gonna be a really awesome build. Inside is actually super rad. Like, it looks so good. Like, it's actually pretty clean for a 1995. Sure, it needs some tidying up around here and there, but it runs gorgeously. So there is one problem with it. The transmission, something is wrong with the transmission. I forget the name of the transmission. I'm pretty sure it's like a, no, I'm gonna butcher what it is. I'm just gonna pop it up on the screen right there. That's the transmission that this thing has, and apparently they go bad quite often, which kind of blows, but we'll make it work. Basically, what's wrong with the transmission is I started driving this thing and it won't shift from first gear. So I'm in first gear, and then as soon as it wants to like rev up to second, it just goes like woo, and then it just doesn't go anywhere. It tries to shift, doesn't, and then it's just kind of lost, and then it shifts back down to first. And at first gear you can only go like 20 miles per hour or something like that, so it's not enough. Pop the hood real quick. But other than that, this thing runs amazing, and the engine bay looks fantastic. Wait 1 sec. Let me hook that up. So the engine bay is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, like, this thing, apparently these engines, they say they're like bulletproof, basically. They run forever. This is a Japanese car. I've never heard of Isuzu in my life, which I mean, I've heard of like Suzuki, 2 different companies. I kept mixing them both up, but apparently these things, they run forever as long as you take care of them, and this thing has been well taken care of. Like, the maintenance on this thing is fantastic. So I'm pretty excited about that. Has a brand new battery. I think it's like a year old, so that's pretty awesome. Those things are hefty and super spendy. Everything else in here has never been touched, just like maintenance, regular maintenance done to it, obviously. Underneath, so we do have this tow hook right here. Not sure if I'll be removing it or not, since I'll be having a metal bumper, but we'll see with that. Underneath here though, if the lighting is good enough, we have, for suspension, it's just this shock right there, and then also the coil bar. So basically the way that this car is lifted is there's this, at least for the front end, there's this rod, and basically it has this tension coil, and from the factory that tension coil is like a quarter turned, maybe halfway tension. So the front end is already a little bit lifted. Basically what I could do is grab the right size wrench, go underneath, and you literally, I believe it's, yep, there it is. So it's this nut right here, and I basically just tighten this thing and the car will just lift. I mean, so I could basically lift the front end almost for free. Obviously, I'm not just gonna leave it like that. I plan on replacing the shock too, but I'm gonna tighten that to about 75–80%, get some good lift on the front, and then replace the shock just to make sure it could handle that much weight on it. As for like the wheel wells, they're enormous. Like, I think I could fit 35s, absolutely no problem. Obviously, it's gonna have a 3-inch lift, so it'll be even better. But I'm really excited for that because it's gonna give it some more life for sure. And then back here, it was expecting leaf springs, but it is not leaf springs at all apparently. So what we have back here, if it's visible, is that's a spring right there, and oh yeah, right behind it, can't really see, right there. Okay, so that right there is the other shock. So basically it needs a shock and a spring, and that's basically it. Like, other than that, it's gonna be such an easy lift. By far one of my favorite parts about this car is the way that this opens. Swings out, locks in place, and then swings out and also locks in place. Like, that's freaking cool. I'm so, like, the amount of ideas I have with this is nuts. I plan on probably installing some sort of table here, because that would be super rad, you know, unbolt it, drops down, have a table. For back here, looks like they took off a skid plate of some sort. This, I'm pretty sure this goes on the front, but back here, like, just imagine like shelves or something, some sort of storage. I've seen people put like water jugs here, just kind of install them there. Yeah, so many plans. And then for this back, I plan on putting a ladder that goes like this over, attaches to the top. They make it for this car actually, so that would be really cool. Have that ladder, and then on top, imagine just a roof tent. Like, I got endless ideas. It looks really good. It's not rusting or anything, so that's super rad. But, oh man, this car slaps. I'm digging it so much. Like, just everything about it is just so cool. I mean, it's a 1995, come on. Like, this thing is gorgeous. So let's go back inside. Crazy enough, it has auto windows, at least the front one. The rest of them are just automatic, regular, but hopefully my sound doesn't sound too bad. Let's give it a start. Look at that, one turn, that's it. Like, instantly just starts right up, and it runs so good. It runs so good, it's crazy. No crazy smoke blowing out. Like, everything about this car is just so clean. No lights. This is where they all pop up, the engine light, transmission light, all that stuff. In here, the lights work. You could dim them. Let's see what else we got. We got windshield wipers for the back and for the front. The back is also a heated window, so I could defrost it. 1995, guys, defrosting. Cruise control. Hold up. To be honest, I have no idea what auto cruise is. So there's some sort of auto cruise, and then there's also cruise controls on here. So I'm not quite sure what that does. I'd have to check that out. AC does work. Let's see. Yep, it does work. So that's awesome. Inside, outside. Oh, whoa. I don't know if you guys could hear that. That's so cool. It's literally like sealing something, I'm pretty sure, each time I click that. Let's see, what else do we got? Yeah, so here we got 4 high, 4 low, and then obviously the 2-wheel drive. So this is actually super cool. So this car, I'll turn this off. This car actually has a limited slip rear. So limited slip is basically almost like a locking diff. Basically, as soon as I put this thing into 4 high, I have to put into reverse, roll backwards, and it engages the limited slip and basically locks the rear. And then, or sorry, no, the rear is already limited slip, the front. So when I put into 4 high, I roll backwards, I engage it, and then I go forward, and it locks it, and basically the front becomes a limited slip. So it's an open diff until I put into 4 high or 4 low, and then I could lock the front, which is super rad. So it's almost like an auto locking differential, which is pretty awesome. Have not tested that out yet. Obviously, still got to figure out what's wrong with the transmission. I mean, we got our regular park reverse, neutral drive, 3-2 low, 4 low and low. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. So this car also has, if you can read that, power mode and winter mode. So power mode, basically what it does is it keeps the car, it's kind of like a low drive, keeps it in a lower gear, gives you a little bit more torque. Winter mode, basically what it does is it skips first gear, goes straight into second, keeps you from slipping on ice, keeps that lower torque out of your range. Horns work. That sounds that sounds really weird. I've never had buttons as my horns. I find that so funny. But let's see what else we got. So turn the car on. Let me close that. We can move the mirrors electronically. Guys, 1995. That's crazy. Not only that, heated mirrors, which is crazy to me. And then on top of that, okay, so say we're off-roading, we don't want to smack our mirrors. What do? We click this button and, like, come on, that's freaking cool. That's awesome. I think, like, as soon as I saw that, I was all over this car. I was like, bro, what else does this car have? Gas right there. You know that this car could do some crazy off-roading when the passenger gets their own handle, of course. Little storage, sort of locking nut, and I think that's it. All right, guys, thanks for staying tuned until this far. I'm gonna go repark it real quick. Check out the turns. Like, it has a good radius. I'm super excited. This car is gonna be really fun to work on. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. Thanks, and signing off.